So the first trailer, I believe, for the Harry Potter HBO series apparently came out. And despite what you see, I am not actually playing one of the characters. I just bear a great resemblance to one of them. But here, without further ado, let's go ahead and turn that down a little bit. This is the Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone Season 1 teaser. So let's get right into it.
I told you. You are a normal boy. And you're going to start acting like one. You think you're something special? There is nothing special about you.
I've always wanted to know about my parents.
Your parents were the kindest, bravest people I ever met. They were funny and...
Again, this isn't me. I know. I was offered the chance. I'm like, nah, guys, I've got a lot of stuff going on in my life. I understand I naturally look like Hagrid, but I had to pass it up. You know, I didn't want to be part of this, you know, the fame and all that. I was like, sorry, give it to Nick Frost. He's much more accustomed to being in the limelight than I am. So, sorry. I don't want to confuse you guys. This isn't me. It's not me. Sorry.
and clever. They stood up for what they believed was right. The next time I see you, we'll be in Hogwarts.
Mr. Potter, I think we can expect great things from you. Let's see who you are.
Are you really Harry Potter?
So Christmas 2026, that's, I mean, fairly soon. Got black sassy Snape over here. I mean, now when he gets bullied by James and Sirius, it's not going to be because, you know, the way he looks, you know, because Snape with his hook nose and no, it's going to be racist. They're bullying Snape because he's black. And looks like they're trying to give him more of a like a sassy attitude. And while yes, Alan Rickman had his moments, he for the most part wasn't really expressive. You know, it kind of makes him like, oh yeah, let's take this Snape and like make him not Snape. It's like they might as well. I mean, they're having a black actor portray a white character, so and this is supposed to be sticking to the books. Snape is white, whether you want to debate it or not. He's white. But there's John Lithgow as Dumbledore. I wonder what he's using the tuning fork for. Boom. But I mean, he looks good as Dumbledore. You know, he really looks he looks very close to Richard Harris's Dumbledore. Which, you know, Richard Harris, it would have been weird to see him in the future movies, even if he was alive, because, you know, I don't think he could have pulled off a lot of the stuff that Michael Gambon had done. You know, the more serious stuff. Like uh, Richard Harris was more of that kindly old grandpa and stuff like that. But when it came to like the later movies where he was up and about and doing things and having to fight against Voldemort, and you know that moment where they're in the cave and all that, you know, I don't think he would have been able to do it. I mean, mainly because he was so old anyway. Like he was old. He was already old when he played Dumbledore in Philosopher's Stone. And then during Chamber of Secrets, you could hear in his voice he was sick. I mean, I think he died not too long after. But he was sick during all of that. And you could kind of hear in his voice. His voice was like really scratchy and crackly, and you know, he just didn't seem to have that kind of spring in his step like he did the first time around. But he looks very much like Richard Harris's Dumbledore, which is really cool. Whether or not he goes off the same charm, I mean, it's John Lithgow, so I mean, it's Lord Farquaad right here. So, but yeah, we got Hermione, of course. The classic scene of the trio on the train meeting. I think we saw things like Draco. We got Mrs. Weasley right there. Which, if Arthur and Molly are not done correctly, people are gonna riot. The Weasleys, especially Arthur and Molly, are two of the most beloved characters. If they're not done correctly, people will fucking riot. Like when you think about what a family is, you think of the Weasleys, you know, like in Harry Potter, and not just you know what family is. They're very modest. They're humble. Like they're pure blood. Like they're pure blood wizards, and they live in this like not a shack, but like this. You know, people would look at me like, you live in that? But for them, it's about togetherness and family, and they take Harry in knowing that his life is fucking terrible, and you know, Molly treats him like her own son, and when he's in danger, they worry about him. They give him things for Christmas and birthdays and invite him over. You know, they have him for celebrations, and they're sending him stuff at Hogwarts, and I'm like, this is a family. And honestly, I've kind of always thought if Harry didn't have that kind of connection with Ron, like his path could have been very different. I think if he didn't meet Ron and he didn't have like that family, that goodness of the Weasleys, he could have easily taken a dark turn. You know, with all the shit having to deal with the Dursleys, he could have gone down that dark route because he wouldn't have had a, you know, family grounding him, you know, not grounding him as in punishing, but grounding him and reminding him what it's like to have a family and to be loved, because that's what separated him from Voldemort. He had that love and the attention from his his parents, but also the Weasleys. So he got to feel what it's like to have a family. Voldemort is the complete opposite. His dad hated him. His mom, while being a good person, conceived him under the effects of a love potion, which basically means when Voldemort was born, when Tom Riddle was born, he was incapable of love because his conception was under a love potion, which isn't real love. So if Harry didn't have the Weasleys, he could have ended up like Voldemort. Even though he might have had other friends, he could have very easily turned to it's like with Draco. You know, he had goodness around him, but he eventually did like become a Death Eater and all that. So Harry, if he didn't have those like that family, you know, because at this point he wouldn't have had Sirius, but it's the Weasleys are incredibly important to the story, and if they're fucked up, people are going to riot. We got Aunt Petunia, which it's just so different not seeing Fiona Shaw. I love Fiona Shaw as Aunt Petunia, and Richard Griffith as Uncle Vernon. They are just amazing. What's his face as Dudley? Dudley is such a great character. He really is. He is such a little fucking prick. But you understand why he's that way. It's not like he chose to be that way. It's due to his environment, his parents. And that's why he eventually does kind of turn around and change. You know, we see, I think it's in the books as well, but with the Deathly Hallows in the movies, there's that deleted scene where, you know, Vernon, like the Dursleys are leaving Privet Drive to, you know, for safety, because Harry was like, yeah, you're in danger now. You need to go. And as they're getting everything in the car, Dudley kind of says to Harry that, you know, he's not a waste of space and all that. So, I think Harry, if I remember, Harry says about being a waste of space, and he says it, I think, to Vernon. I think that's what it was. He's like, you know, it'd just be a waste of space, or whatever it was. Also, the same scene with Petunia, with her telling Harry that he didn't just lose his mother, that she lost her sister the night that the Potters were killed. I wish they would have kept that in the movie. It is such a great scene. But not seeing Fiona Shaw, you know, very tall, gangly, even in fact, Vernon, I think it was like like, this is Vernon. Far cry from the Vernon that we know and love. Like, Richard Griffiths is just you know, he was great, but it's so weird seeing like a person who is more of a thin frame compared to what we have. So, but we're seeing Harry in school. I'm guessing we got Dudley over here. Dudleykins. I'm going to fucking cut you, Potter. And no one will give a shit. Cupboard under the stairs. Before Privet Drive. Little whinging Surrey. Again, unfortunately, it's not me. I was approached. They're like, you've got that Hagrid look. I'm like, sorry, I've got stuff to do. I've got an 88-year-old woman who has dementia to take care of. I can't just be fucking off somewhere else. Sorry, guys. I mean, it was me, in fact, who recommended Nick Frost. I'm like, you know who would really be a good Hagrid? Nick Frost. That guy is great. Very talented. He's played Santa Claus before. So I think Nick Frost would be a great. And they're like, are you sure? And I'm like, yeah, I'm sure. And they're like, you're losing out on a lot of money. I'm like, I know. But ultimately, I turned it down. We got King's Cross. I wonder if, is it actually King's Cross again this time? Because they were at King's Cross last time. I mean, I would assume they're using King's Cross. We've got Professor McGonagall. We got the Sorting Hat. Got the trio right there. And I know, again, I saw we've got Ollivander. The wand chooses the wizard, Mr. Potter. It's not always clear why. Yeah, there we go. There's Draco. I'm guessing we got Crabbe and Goyle right there. And, what's her name? Pansy? Pansy Parkinson. We got Madam Sprout, or Professor Sprout right there, herbology. We've got Not Me rolling around in the snow, making snow angels. I'm actually interested for Chamber of Secrets, who's going to play Gilderoy Lockhart. I love his character. But yeah, so sorry to disappoint you guys. I'm not actually in the show. Sorry. But you know, it's one of those things that people are hopeful. But they're making so many changes, despite the fact that they said it's going to be based on the books. but they're already making so many changes by adding things that weren't there, taking things out that weren't there, changing characters. It's like, is it really truly sticking to the story now? You know, sticking to the books? No. They're just kind of doing what they want with it, but just adding more of the books into it. So, but each one of these seasons, it's going to cover one of the books. So, it should be pretty cool. So, like, 7 books, so 7 years. I don't think they'll be filming for all that time, but they'll probably do what they did with the other movies where they, like, simultaneously film, like, Philosopher's Stone and then, like, Chamber of Secrets, like, right after. So, but it's going to be a long-term commitment, so hopefully these people are up for it. But anyway, that's going to do for me. You guys know the drill. I'll see you guys later. Bye, guys.